To show for the 3 games as far as in the win column, but I thought our guys competed and battled, and I'm sure there's people that are getting tired of hearing that kind of over and over again. But when you're trying to build a program, you look for things like that. You can look at our record, you can look at the kind of where we're at in the Big Ten Conference, and that's a team. Illinois is a team that's going to probably host a regional and be a national seed. And so for us to have a chance to win yesterday and be in that game all day today and compete the way we did, it shows that our guys won't quit, and we're building towards the right things.
What do you tell your team in the locker room after that?
I told them that I was proud of them. I thought I've said this to you before, the one thing that I always tell our guys that they can always control is how hard they play, whether or not they compete. It takes no athletic ability or talent to do that. And they did that. Now, we got to clean up some of the things as far as playing the game. We walked or hit 9 guys. And even though only 2 of them scored, which that's remarkable that only 2 of them scored, after the 7th inning, we had thrown 142 pitches and they had thrown 97. So you're working almost twice as hard just to stay in the game, and it waters down your bullpen. Guys aren't as fresh, and so to me that was the biggest difference in the game. And then we got to find a way to break through with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. We hit some balls on the nose, but nothing to show for it.
All right, they were saying that you guys hit a couple balls hard and it just didn't happen, but you also when you did score, it was on sacrifice fly, ground out, stuff like that. I mean, obviously a run's a run, but how much would you like to see him get hits and kind of keep the inning going instead of making it out?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, when you're in the middle of a game like that, you're down by a couple runs or 4 runs or whatever it is, and outs are golden. You don't want to give them up, but they also were quality at bats. So it's one of those kind of things where you want it to fall through, but I'm thinking more or less like bases loaded and not Jimmy Haley hit the ball in the screws, just nothing to show for it. We got to find a way to push one of those through.
What can you say for Sal Biasi, Marco Borisic, pitching all the way?
You know what? Let me even go one more. Like Nick DeStasio, that's the 2nd outing in a row that hasn't been great for him, but that kid cares. He's working hard. He's going to continue to learn from this, and part of it for those guys is they're freshmen and they're hitting a wall mentally because it's a physically grinding, draining season. Something they're not used to. I thought those 2 guys competed, but those 3 guys that I just mentioned, they've got to get ahead. They've got to be 0-1 rather than 1-0 all the time. They got to be 1-1 rather than 2-1, it's just we're pitching behind way too much.
Coach, how big was it having 4 Diamonds families here today?
Having the Thon families is unbelievable. We're always on the road during Thon, so for us, we don't get to partake and honor them and everything. So for us today to have them here, and I think we've raised close to $10,000 with the event we're having today, and it was great. It was neat to see their names up on the scoreboard and everything being announced. It was cool, really, really cool.
Building off that question, you receptive on that chapter of the 4 Diamonds families. At what point during your coaching career did you realize that building a program involves so much more than just what happens on the field and encapsulates so much what goes on with the university?
Yeah, it's funny you ask that question because this weekend down at the University of Miami, they unveiled a statue for Ron Frazier, the longtime coach. He was the coach there, and he was college baseball in the 80s. And he was a master marketer and promoter, so the fact that you asked that question, that's where I learned it. I learned it down at Miami, and also from Rick Jones at Tulane, who came kind of out of that cloth of, it's not just about the X's and O's on the field. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to play well on the field, but what great crowds we had today. I mean, this weekend we had great crowds, great energy in the ballpark. It's fun. It makes our players enjoy coming to the park. It helps recruiting. You reach out to alums because I'm a big believer in there's power in numbers. And when our guys realize that they're part of this unbelievable alumni base and family here at Penn State, I think it makes them play better.